Hey, what's up guys? Last time I didn't actually manage to get to the Steam age or get to Steel or anything because I made a stupid play and I thought I was going to be able to make everything out of Chromium, but I actually was not able to do that. So yeah, there's kind of a bit of a letdown in that way. Yeah, so I ended up going into Bronze for that, and I made all the Bronze stuff that I needed, at least in that regard, off screen, just because it's metalworking isn't like a super enjoyable thing to look at or listen to. Not too much going on with it, so I just did that off. But the recipes are pretty simple. It's nothing that hasn't been shown before. It's all double bronze plates for the boiler, and then the liquid burning box that I actually replaced my other burning box with is pretty much the same as what has been shown so far, except for the bronze fluid pipes. Those require curved bronze plates and a bending cylinder, but those just require ingots for the bending cylinder, and curved bronze plates use the anvil bending big. So nothing too complicated there, nothing super new or anything like that. What I also did was I moved the coke oven inside the base, sort of. I embedded it into the wall. At least for now, I may end up sort of dedicating an area to it with like a couple coke ovens, but I probably only need the one. I think what I'll end up maybe doing is making this adjacent chunk where this wall is currently sitting, I might make that into like an arboretum. So I can grow trees there and then turn that into charcoal, and then also get the the creosote rather. So behind this wall there is a pipe system, a very simple one with treated wood fluid pipes rather, not regular wood fluid pipes. Let me just show how those are made. Those are pretty basic. It just requires like a plank and then some saws, and that gives you the regular small fluid pipes, and those have an okay bandwidth and capacity. It's fine for what we're doing here because it's not like there's tons of stuff going through all the time. But I just upgraded them into treated fluid pipes. You get a little more bandwidth and capacity, but nothing too crazy. It's not really worth making the huge fluid pipes, which I generally usually do, but it's pretty overkill. And, I figured I might as well just do some cheap stuff for now. Maybe later if I end up having like super large charcoal production, I might need them, but yeah, not super necessary for now. So basically what there is behind that wall is a barrel that is holding the creosote, and it's piping into this, and then it's running along the floor and going into the bottom of this burning box. And I think I covered up all the segments of the pipe. Actually, I didn't. You probably don't need to do it like this. You probably don't need to cover up things that are this far down, but just for the sake of it, actually, you know what? Let me grab that piece of opal. I forgot that was there. Or not opal, rather, amber, I think is what that is. And the reason you want amber is it gives silk touch, I believe. Yeah, so what you can do with that, I think you should be able to embed that into a steel pickaxe head. There we go. Yeah, an amber tipped pickaxe head, which is made out of steel. It should be pretty much the same as steel. It might have a little less durability, but it gives it silk touch, so, nice to have in case you need to silk touch anything. Where's my solarium pick? There it is. I probably didn't manage to get that. That's alright. If I end up washing it, I may end up getting it, but, it's always worth giving it a shot with a fortune pick. I suppose I could have waited until I had dynamite, but I'm not that dedicated to it, really. Let me put this stuff back. Put this here, and put this here, and here. Okay. Actually, I could just fill this all in. I really don't need that divot anymore. It's a little cleaner looking. It's unfortunate. Chipped amber. I think I can eventually turn that into an amber at some point. I think there's some like implosion compressor or some shit like that that lets you get those kinds of things, but yeah. Not right now. Not a super big deal either way, because, I don't really need silk touch, so. Yeah, I am first working on getting a little bit of glass for the ceiling, just because, yeah, if the boiler gets rained on, it will violently explode, and it is not a small explosion. It will pretty much crater all of this, even though blue schist, I think, has a fairly high blast resistance. Or maybe not. I think it's maybe the same as stone. I don't know. But either way, it'll crater everything, and it will not be fun time for me. I'm also going to cover up the crucible a little bit, even though I don't think this is at risk because I have it covered with a slab, but I'm not going to take any chances with it. So, let me just hop over here, see what I can manage to cover this way. do like this. I don't really know what the exact range of, I guess like the influence of rain is on a machine, but you know, it can't hurt to be a little more cautious. And you know, I have the glass; it's not expensive or anything. All right. So yeah, what I need to do next is get some fluid pipes for bringing the steam over to here. What I could do is just use bronze for all of it, but what I'm going to do is I'll use Invar just because it doesn't hurt you if you touch it by accident, which I may end up doing. And the boiler will still hurt you if you touch it when it's running, but the pipes at least won't. And you know, in case I need to do like pipe maintenance or something, it's just a little easier to work with. So for that, we need pentlandite, and I will, actually this is already purified. So if I smash this, I should get 1 pentlandite. What is that worth? 3. So I actually need 3 of these just to get through it. All right. Hopefully this will be close to the end of me having to work with the anvil and this hammer. I mean, I realized I could have made bronze stuff and just used that for a while, and it would have just been fine, but, you know, I have that kind of a special... Oh, I can't smash this on the anvil? That's interesting. Oh, it's already dust. I'm stupid. Yeah. Yeah, I have the kind of special, I guess, habit of just trying to use, like, the cheapest stuff I can until I get to the next tier, even though probably not worth it in the long run. I guess the time that I waste doing that is much more than I would have benefited, I guess, in that way. Where's my iron? It's not here. It's here. There we go. Right, so this is 1. So Invar is, I think, 1 to 2, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check on that one. Invar ingot. Ingots are always the best way to check what the combination recipes are. So yeah, yeah, it's 2 to 1 with iron, so that's good. And I only need 3 because I'm just going to be doing 1, 2, 3, yeah. And then the rest of the pipes can be bronze because they're just going to be carrying water around. So I will do 2 iron and throw this in here. And I will throw this in here. Perfect. And then I will light this bad boy up. Oh, I need more planks. I should carry this all around with me. Where is my wood? There it is. Right. Okay. Perfect. So yeah, this is pretty much exactly the same as the other one. It just doesn't output ash. There's no byproduct from it. Obviously it uses liquid fuel, so it turns off instantly as soon as you blog it. And it doesn't take solid fuel. There's no interaction with the front of it at all, really. So it's a little more convenient in general. I think I still will upgrade that to chromium as soon as I can. Once I get a little more infrastructure, I'll have to get like crushers and washers and stuff like that. That way I can process the ores a little bit more efficiently. But then I will probably upgrade this to chromium because I really don't like having to wait that much. And it'll actually be an upgrade over the bronze one because chromium has an efficiency of 85. Plus I'll save quite a bit of time because of the heat output. So overall it'll be a net benefit. I could go for Invar, which has 100% efficiency, but yeah, I mean, I still am not a huge fan of the amount of time you have to wait. Even with the dense Invar burning box, it only outputs 64 heat per tick, which is better than the bronze one for sure, but yeah, I'd still prefer to use chromium if I can. And it only takes 4, which I can certainly afford, so. I think Invar uses wrought iron, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it does. So that means anytime there's a combination smelting recipe that has like wrought iron, for example, even though the alloy might tell you that it requires like this specific temperature, usually you do have to get up to the melting point of like the highest tier of metal. From what I can remember, I've always had to go up to the highest tier metal in order to actually be able to liquefy it, and then it will become the alloy that you're expecting. So I think it's maybe even like that for what is it called? Stainless steel. I think because it uses wrought iron, and that may be... Actually, no, chromium is probably the highest in stainless steel. Yeah, I'm almost positive that it requires you to get up to the melting point of chromium, but I could be wrong there. So that is, what is the nickel's melting point? Because that is not wrought iron. That's Invar. There we go. All right, so I need 3 plates. Yep. Invar is easy to tell. It's just a yellow material. All right, so I need to bend this, and then I need the bending cylinder. So it's anvil bending big. Just gonna double check because sometimes I make really stupid mistakes like that. What is it called? Invar fluid pipe. Oh, there it is. Curved. Yeah, it is big. Perfect. Oh man, killing me with this. I mean, I completely inflicted this on myself. I have nobody to blame except myself. That is the curse I have inflicted upon my own mind. That's fine. This should be the last anvil, hopefully, that I have to make out of this material, and then I'll be well on my way to steel at least, so. I'm sorry if it's been a bit rough for you to have to watch me do this. It's not exactly fun for me either, but you know, something inside of me is like, oh, you just have to keep using this shitty material until you can get the steel. It's not like I would even waste that much bronze on it. Like in the long run, bronze is exceptionally easy to get, but I don't know. I guess I've always just done things this way, but you know, maybe the next time I do a GregTech playthrough, I'll try to be even less, I guess, stingy in that way, or whatever you might want to call it. All right. Yeah, of course I broke my hammer too. Okay. That should also be the last shitty hammer I have to make, so it's fine. Here we go, and let me get that Invar plate and put it on the anvil. Where is that hammer? There we go. And then I think to make pipes, it's a wrench, a hammer, and a bending cylinder. Yep. All right, I have everything. So we got this goes here, I think, and the hammer goes there. Yep. Okay. Perfect. I think this also might even tell you, oh, let me see. Fluid pipe. Okay, yeah, so if you see here on the bronze fluid pipe, for example, it'll say melts down when stored heat is too much. So, you know, if you exceed that temperature, the pipe will just disintegrate. This can handle gases, so that means you can obviously pipe in gaseous materials like hydrogen or whatever, and it will be fine. But like in a wood pipe, it wouldn't be able to do that. Obviously it's a little too porous, I guess. And then for the bronze fluid pipe, you'll see it says it causes damage when touched while active. So that means that anything that you might expect to injure you, so mostly hot stuff, that will cause damage to you. Whereas with Invar, that doesn't have that tooltip. And then there's another tooltip you want to watch out for, which is this one here that you might see on gold or on, where is it? Stainless steel? Yeah, I mean, gold and stainless steel are essentially the same. So yeah, these still cause damage to you when you touch them, and they still melt down pretty, I mean, not easily, not very many things are that hot, but, so yeah, these can also handle gases, but they can also handle acids, so things like sulfuric acid, and like hydrochloric acid, those will melt any other pipe that doesn't have that tooltip. Let me just show you. Oh, chromium can also do it. A couple of things can do it. Netherite can also handle plasma, I guess. I have never had to pipe around plasma, but I'm sure that's something that you could do if you wanted to. There's iridium. Tungsten can do it. Zirconium, I don't think that's even available to me. Where is stainless steel? Am I just completely missed it? Oh, here we go, stainless steel. Yeah, this is usually what people use, because it's just kind of like straightforward, I guess, but that's galvanized steel. But yeah, you really don't have to use stainless steel. I would honestly not recommend using stainless steel because it's sort of just like a waste of the materials just for the piping. I would just say go for gold. It's usually a lot easier to get, and it's a lot more abundant. I mean, you can just go into the nether with fortune or looting, I guess. You can kill zombie pigmen for it too. Even just going in the gold veins, you'll get a lot. And I mean, aside from circuitry, gold isn't used for a whole bunch, and it's not like you're going to be using a bunch anyway. But yeah, I mean, the abundance of gold is a lot higher than the abundance of like chromium, and specifically manganese is pretty annoying to get when you get to that point. So I would, yeah. What the hell? Where'd you come from, buddy? You just crawled over my wall? Jesus. Alright, where do I want to put this? Just put it here. I'll put this string here for now. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, I'll just use my regular axe for... I should actually make a sword, which you can make out of GregTech materials as well. But yeah, I will connect this up to the boiler. Oh, I also need to pump in water, so I have to think about how many pipes I actually need. So yeah, this is all good. This is a perfectly viable amount of pipes for this. So that'll just take steam out of the top, and it'll pump it right into there. And I think that should be, the throughput on that should be fine. How much steam does this make? 48 steam, and Invar can handle, let me see, small Invar can handle 200, so yeah, way more than I even need. I could hook up a bunch of boilers to this and it would be just fine. As long as it, I guess, as long as the machine on the other end was able to actually handle that, I should say. Otherwise, you'll get steam backed up into the pipes, and then it'll back up into the boiler, and then the boiler will explode. And then you can see the status of the boiler with this dial here. So green is good. That means it's operating at full capacity. Red means that it's backing up with pressure, which is just, you know, there's too much steam and it's not being dealt with. So be very, very careful. Optimally, what you would want to do is put it like under the ground and, you know, just put some distance between it and everything else just in case. I mean, unless you already have like a safety system, which you probably won't. But, you know, doubling up or tripling up on safety systems is always good. One thing you can do is put a valve on the pipes that you have like connecting your steam, and that will basically just, it'll vent out into the air any excess fluid. Technically steam is a fluid in regards to the pipe, so it'll just vent out the steam into the air. And you can even see there it says gases require air or tank. So you could, I don't think, you can't output steam into a tank in GregTech 6. It doesn't work. There's no way to store steam. It just has to go directly into stuff. But one thing to keep in mind is if you stand in front of that valve when it is outputting excess steam, it will burn you. And I think it does a lot of damage from what I can remember. So be mindful of that. Trying to think of any other things that I should recommend. Oh, another thing you could do is put a pressure, or is it pressure meter? It's like, is it Gibble meter or something? Or what is it called? I don't know if it's compression. Hold on. There's some kind of sensor basically that you can use that tells you how much pressure is in something. I think it's the Gibble meter one, but I just want to make sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's that one. So yeah, what you could do is put the Gibble meter on here, and you could tell it to detect how much pressure is built up, and then at a certain point, if it gets past some threshold, what you could do is activate a sticky piston down here and have it push up like glass or sand or something in front of this burning box, and then that would be like another fail-safe that you could double up on. So, you know, if you put it underground, you use a valve, and you use the automatic shutoff, you'll probably be fine. You know, take your own life in your own hands. I don't know, do what you want to do. But those are some easy tips that I think are worth at least being aware of. Did this run out of space? Oh wow, okay. I have a lot of creosote oil then. That's definitely good. You really don't use too much, even burning it in like a not efficient burning box, but yeah, that ends up sort of being a problem, and I had a discussion with somebody about that kind of thing. It's more so a matter of me just wanting to be able to run this like full bore when I have a farm hooked up to it. It's not even a real problem, but whatever, it's fine. That's just my thing. All right, so next I need some bronze fluid pipes. I have to think about this. I'm gonna make another barrel to hold the distilled water just for the time being, because I'll end up having a giant tank over in that wall. Basically what I want to do is have a space here, and then I'll have the giant tank here, and then I'll have another space here, and then I'll have another giant tank that holds water here, and just embed them into the walls. I think it looks kind of nice, and it's just more convenient, I think, to route them that way. So that's what we'll probably do, but for the moment, I'm just going to keep it in a barrel. That way, when I end up getting the tank, I'll be able to just dump it in. And also, once I have enough to make the dryer, which will, excuse me, allow me to create more distilled water directly without having to do it through this, Because if you don't use distilled water, this boiler will calcify and it'll slowly lose efficiency, and you'll have to turn it off and then use a chisel on it to get the calcium deposits out in order to restore its efficiencies. But if you use distilled water, you don't have to do that. It'll be perfectly efficient forever as long as you keep pumping in distilled water. So I need iron to make 2 iron rods in order to get the barrel, and I also need copper to make the bronze. Do I have crushed copper? I thought I did. Perhaps I do not. Let me see if I have any more like tin, because I don't really want to work with cassiterite at the moment, but I have a feeling I may have to. That's zinc, iron, coal. Let me see. I feel like I remember seeing tin along this beach. This is just another example of me like going out of my way to do things that I don't really have to do, but whatever. There we go. I definitely remembered correctly. That's 1. It's a zinc. I want to get 2 tin because I think I'm going to need 8 bronze. There we go. Perfect. I didn't get too lucky there with the fortune. That's all right. Better than not having it at all. But yeah, the dynamite will definitely be worth investing into once I am able to get to that point. As soon as I get access to easy manufacturing of biodiesel, I'll definitely go for that. Oh, I need to wash this. I should bring that system inside. I'm going to bury this sort of in the ground and then pump up the water, and that's what I'll use the bronze pipes for. That way I can at least use the wood to transfer it like all around underneath stuff, but when I get around the burning boxes, I'll just use the metal pipes. That way I can not worry about burning them, essentially, or having to like cover them up, because sometimes I don't do it correctly. All right, put this in here. Tin dust, sure. Put that away. Actually, I'll be able to make another big one. I'll leave it as small, because that way it doesn't take up that much chest space. I think I'll probably have to work iron, or not iron, copper again. Actually, purified copper. Perfect. 3, let me see. Do I have any small coppers over here? I may just. That's 11. Yeah, I'm gonna need to do probably 1 or 2 more. Let me see. 2. Perfect. Okay, put this away. So I can do this all in one go, actually. I don't think there's any risk of that. Actually, you know, I won't do it in one go. I'll do the bronze first, and then I'll do the iron. Just because the iron otherwise will sit on top and I won't be able to see the bronze. So I'll quickly throw the iron in after I get to that melting point of bronze, so I'll at least absorb the tiny amount of excess heat. Alright, let that go for a little while. And while I'm doing that, I will quickly go and grab this nonsense from outside. I already moved the, what's it called, the mortar inside, so I was just trying to use that for other stuff. I have to remember the face of that pipe was this direction. It's going to place down the exact same way as I had it placed before, so it's good to know. So yeah, I think I'll just do it straight down like this. Let me clear this just to get it prepared. Alright, that's the tin. So yeah, it's not going too quickly, which is fine. So this is going to have to be the actual pipe. So I'll do it like down, I don't know, I'll do it like here. Making a mess. Okay, so yeah, the pipe will be here. Perfect. And then I'll do the water like here, basically. Make sure this burning box is still okay. Yeah, it's fine. It's got quite a lot of mass in there, so it's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. Actually, let me cover these things up because yeah, that's fine. Just trying to think of the orientation of everything that I'm going to want, but I think that should be fine. It's better if I sort of load up that corner before I move out into the other places, because I'm going to end up having water being routed around here. Okay. It's not a big deal either way. It's a very small amount. Okay. For some reason I have this like suspicion that I don't need to worry about things that are underneath the burning box burning, but I'm still going to be a little cautious and just do a metal piping anyway. It's better to, you know, be safe than have to worry about the water pipes evaporating into the air because of the boiler, or because of the burning box, and then not having water in the boiler, which will cause an explosion as well. If you can't tell, the boilers are extremely prone to explosions, but that is also part of the fun, in my opinion. I think I'm going to go a little heavier into the boilers than I usually do. I'm not going to worry too much about looking for like oil or making my own oil for a while. I usually do that. I usually either go for biodiesel, or I get lucky and I find you know, some kind of like oil well underground and I refine it with a distillation tower. But yeah, I think it would be fun to kind of just go into steam for a while, because when you have oil of any kind, you can run it directly through diesel engines, and there's no risk with diesel engines. So, you know, where's the fun without a little risk, right? Even what I'm doing right now, there's a little risk there. Risk of killing myself with an overheating burning box, or crucible rather. Alright, yeah, I'll have 8 bronze plates. That should be plenty for my use case. And then I'll have the iron rods that I need for my barrel, and we will be all set for that. Come on. Yeah, I'll have plenty of charcoal to run for the steel at least. I'm just going to run the actual charcoal itself through that. I guess what I could do is set up a hopper that goes directly into the burning box back there with charcoal pellets just in case, but I'm not too worried about it. My setup is going to be pretty, I mean, efficient, all things considered. I'm not going to be wasting too much. It's going to be going for a while, so perfect. There's my iron. We close that off. So I need iron long rods here. And while I wait for those to cool down, let me make the pipes that I need. I'm gonna have to make another anvil. Oh my god. Oh, actually, I may not have to. It depends on how many. Okay, yeah. Look at that. Look what I just did. I made this into cobblestone. I didn't even know you could do that. I'm a menace to my own base. What can I tell you? Back to the red granite mine. A significant portion of the earth has become anvils in my base and has promptly disappeared into pebbles. Here we go, come on. I saw Greg did some more work on the gun system. It seems like it may come out pretty soon, actually. I'm pretty excited for that. I really am curious to see how he's going to do that system. I mean, from what I've seen so far, what he's kind of explained, it looks pretty solid so far, so I'm very curious. Hopefully the textures won't be too rough, but, you know, I can't blame him. He's not an artist, he's a programmer. I feel that. Hopefully at some point there will be a little bit more of like a custom tool system, because I think that would be pretty fun to do as well, like being able to, not like a complete clone of Tinker's or anything, but sort of like an alternative, I guess, to it, because, I mean, I personally find the GregTech system like a lot more balanced, and I think Tinker's is pretty imbalanced in almost every single way. So I'd be curious to see like what Greg's take is on it. My god. Okay, yeah, I need to do the plates. Alright. I'll just make these all into pipes. Screw it. I mean, I'll probably end up using them at some point anyway, so. Usually I'll just go from, like, I'll usually make a couple bronze pipes, and then I just go straight to steel, but, you know, it doesn't really matter too much at this point. Alright, so I will take these bronze pipes, and I will use them to pipe water into here. Eventually I will replace this with a system to get distilled water in, but, you know, it's alright. I'll end up replacing some of those, actually, I'll just do it now. What is it? Just make this look a little nicer. You can still see that, but I don't really care that at this point. I could put some kind of, like, plate here. You can use that as, like, a sort of facade, but for right now, I'm not super concerned. Where is I need treated wood, and also I need, do I have a bottle on me? No, I need to get a bottle for glue, which is used for the barrel. I also need the sticky resin. I emptied the sap pack, or whatever it is, on the tree over there, and I got a stack of it, which is always nice to see. Of course, I brought the bowl inside with me, didn't I? Or it's in my inventory, probably. Yeah, there it is. And also the cauldron is here. Well, the good thing is I can just connect these up to the pipe directly. So I could put, I would prefer them not to be like right on there. I'll bring it over like one and then do it there. Do this here, and then where is the wrench? There we go. Can I not do this? Or can it only go in the bottom? Probably only in the bottom. So let me, actually no, I can still keep this here. I'll just do it a little differently. Do it like this, and then, wait, why am I doing this way? I could do it up one. I have 0 IQ. Okay. I was thinking, I think, of not making this floor look horrible, but it's not gonna even matter because this is gonna sit like right on top of it anyway. Is that not getting water? Hello? What's going on? Surely this has to be collecting water, right? Alright, well, I can use this opportunity to show a very useful tool in GregTech. I think I can do this by just taking glass over to a grindstone. Is this correct? Am I stupid? I might have to do glass panes. Let me just see. I'm looking for a lens. Where is it? Basically, I'm making a magnifying glass. Yeah, it's a glass pane. Okay. Here we go. I think eventually you can actually use a buzzsaw to get like really high yield out of glass panes, but I'm not at that point yet. Let me put this glass in here and just take one glass pane. There we go. There's the lens. And then you just use a stick. You can also do this with like gemstones and you'll get more durability, but I mean, you get plenty with just the glass. Does this have water in it? It does have water. Does this have water here? It certainly does. So why is it not going in here? That is a mystery. Do you have to use a large fluid, like a large wooden fluid pipe? I can't imagine that's the case, right? I guess I've always used huge wood fluid pipes for these, and that's always worked for me. That's very interesting. I don't know why it isn't working. I could have sworn I had it like exactly this way. What is going on here? I don't know. I have no clue. Is it, well, let me check. Let me test the bathing pot and putting it like this. That works. I don't know why the cauldron isn't working. I don't know if I'm like being profoundly stupid with this or it's just like an unintuitive thing. I'm not really sure what's going on. Oops, gotta right click on the side for the glue. I need treated planks for the barrel. And I will get that short. Is it here? Yeah. It's 4, and I also need a soft hammer, I think, and the saw, which should be in here. I think I have a saw on me. Yep. Alright, so I think the recipe is this, and then the saw there. Yep. Perfect. This is a fire hazard, so I will put it like this, and this should be fine. This is a temporary thing. I'm not going to keep it like that forever, but just for now, it can be that way. We'll put the charcoal here. Oh wait, I think I put charcoal pellets in here because I'm stupid. I'll put actual charcoal in there. Yeah, once I get a little more iron going, I'll make a hopper just to load that with fuel. So that should be fine. All right, just double check that this has water. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so I can start this now. Oh, whoops. Where is my wood? There it is. Hopefully this goes on the first try. No, of course not. Come on, there we go. All right, so you just saw the dial moved. So this is a dynamic dial. It actually works properly, even though it might not look like texture is, that kind of thing. So it'll keep going up, and it'll sit in the green zone. There shouldn't be any issues there. You don't want to touch the boiler. It will hurt you. The pipes will hurt you if they're not made out of specific materials like Invar. Yeah, other than that, I think I've explained all the mechanics that you need to be aware of for your boilers. So I'm just going to let this heat up. So one of the, I guess, downsides of steam is that everything takes a minute to sort of get going and heat up. So, you know, the boiler has to heat up, and then even the engine, once it's receiving steam, it also has to heat up. So that's one of the downsides there. See if I can sleep. Yep. But on the bright side, it's a pretty easy way to pump power around. I mean, you can just pump steam through the pipes, and you can kind of bring it wherever you need it, which is definitely nice. So you could sort of have a centralized power generation system and dynamically kind of like tweak the pipes depending where you need it to, or you could sort of filter the pipes based on size. Like you could use smaller sizes to restrict the flow of steam. You just need to be really, really careful. I'm trying to emphasize this. Do not let steam back up into your boiler. And you could see, once it starts going, you'll be able to see how much steam is in there. And you'll also be able to see the steam in the pipes once it starts flowing through. So don't worry too much until it actually starts going, but you know, keep an eye on it. It's definitely something you should be a little scared of it, at least in the beginning. So yeah, I'm just letting this heat up, and then I will go and actually, let me grab it now. I'll grab a bunch of magnetite, and I'll just make a whole bunch of iron, or a whole bunch of steel. And the good thing about doing it this way is that you can kind of do steel and iron at the same time, if that makes sense. So in the process of making steel, you need iron, but you can make the iron in that sort of chain. So, you know, you'll throw the charcoal and the black sand in there, and, you know, it'll get to a certain temperature to turn into iron, and then because you need a higher temperature anyway for steel, you just let it keep going, and, you know, that'll be fine. I really should have a thermometer for this, but I don't, so, you know, it is what it is. I will sort of just play it safe and kind of restart my thing as needed. But I will make a bunch of sticks preemptively. Actually, I could probably just make a flint and steel out of iron. I'm probably being really stupid. Of course, I don't have charcoal on me. Well, let me start this right now anyway. So I need 6 and 14, which I can get there. Yep, so do 14 and then 6, and then I will... No, actually, that's wrong. Don't do it the way I just did it. I forgot to mention something, and I forgot it myself. All right, let me put some things here just for now. Okay, so when you go to make steel, there has to be space. Oh no, I'm stupid. I could do it that way, but it's still good to know anyway. So when you go to make steel, there has to be space for air to be blown in into the crucible. So let me just throw this all back in. Yeah, this takes a long time to fill back up with scraps, but that's fine. But yeah, there has to be air. So like at least 1 unit's worth, I think, has to be available. So, you know, there's a 16 units available in the Crucible, like 16, units of space. And if you don't have at least 1 there, I think, for air, then you will not be able to get steel. And you will be sorry for it. I mean, as long as you don't blow up your engine or your, what is it called? Crucible, you'll be fine. But, you know, it'll make you frustrated if you don't really understand the mechanic. And I think it even tells you as much if you look in the steel ingot recipe. Yeah, it'll probably tell you. Yeah, it says do not forget to leave space for air. I think it only needs 1 unit. I mean, I know 1 unit is enough. I don't know if like less than that is okay. I've always just left 1 if I can help it. But yeah, so I think I mentioned last time how the engines work, but you could sort of see it pulsing here. And this is sort of like the strokes of the engine. It will go solid, I believe, after a little while. It's still sort of heating up and like finding some kind of like equilibrium. But yeah, you don't get like the full amount of displayed power, I guess. That's what the 50% efficiency that you see, or like depending on what kind of engine it is, it'll be a different level of efficiency. But yeah, you can also check if it's running with a magnifying glass. It'll tell you it's running there. So yeah, this one is good. I think it's just trying to like stabilize a little bit. And yeah, the amount of steam is sort of like being balanced out between the pipes, and this is fully running. It doesn't actually have to be in like that bright green to be good. This is fine. This is running at full bore essentially. I mean, it's running a little bit less efficiently than it could be. Obviously, there's calcification going on because that is not distilled water. Let me see how much distilled water we got here. Yeah, we already have 1 bucket, so we're only going to be able to hold 16 buckets, but that should be plenty for me to do what I want. So what I'm going to do is first of all, I'll make 7 ingots to make a new anvil. I will make a hammer, which is this, and I will make probably a bunch of plates or something. I might make a pickaxe head, actually. Yeah, I'll make a pickaxe head next, and then I'll make an axe. Because those are tools that I definitely need. Yeah, you can actually see real time how much creosote oil I'm using. So it's not a huge amount. It's not insignificant, but, you know. Just gotta wait for this to keep going down. I still have the charcoal scraps. This is worth, what is this, 4 charcoal? Probably, yeah. See, I put 14 magnetite and there's 2 in there. So yeah, I have the actual remaining charcoal in my inventory, so that's fine. Math works out perfectly. So yeah, not too scary, I don't think, as long as you know what's going on. And you know, I could freely stand on everything here. I'm not gonna touch the boiler, but actually, I'm kind of curious to see how much damage it does. I don't think it'll kill me. Okay, yep, it'll kill you. It does half your health in 1 hit if you're not wearing armor. Definitely interesting to see that. I feel like the only times I've ever touched it was when I was wearing armor, so I wasn't sure. But, you know, let me learn the lessons so you don't have to. Oh, let me put more charcoal in here. So yeah, that was the temperature for iron. That's why it all went down there. And once it gets to the temperature of steel, I really, I don't know why I'm doing it this way. This is really profoundly stupid. I'm gonna let it heat up quite a bit. I'm just gonna try not to get it to the point where the crucible turns yellow, but I may have to go to that point. I mean, fortunately I do have a liquid burning box, so I could do that. But yeah, I really should be using a thermometer for this in order to be able to see. That's wrought iron. Actually, that's fine. I'm gonna let it get a little hotter than that, and then I'll turn it off. It'll take a while to cool down anyway, so it should be okay. Yeah, this is good. Because yeah, wrought iron is, what is that? 2011 or something. And the point of steel is, what is it? 2040 something. Steel ingot is what I need. Steel ingot. What is it? 2046? Yeah. Steel is like blood red almost, so it's very obvious when it gets to that point. I don't think it tells you, but yeah, that's I know, that is the temperature you need. It's 2046. I might need to let it get even a little hotter. It does take some amount of time, so you won't even be able to tell, but steel is being formed on the bottom of the crucible because it's denser than the wrought iron, I think. So you won't even be able to see it until like all of it has been converted, but you'll know once you are able to see like that really dark color. It'll be not that. That is not a steel. That is just everything cooling down. But yeah, it's a very like dark red. When I say dark, it's not really that dark, but it's a solid red color. Like you'll know as soon as you get it. But yeah, it doesn't happen instantly. That is steel, I think. Yeah, that is steel. Okay. Yep. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's my 6 steel. I need one more for what I need, but that's okay. I'll let that cool down, and then I will do the same thing again. How much do I need? An axe and a pickaxe. That's 6, so I need a little bit more. I might have to do 3 rounds. It's okay. Do 14. Magnetite, charcoal, and get another thingy. Yeah, when you do this, I highly, highly recommend using a thermometer. Doing it the way I'm doing it is not intelligent, and I'm only doing it this way because I pretty much know the whole process and I know the timings more or less because I've done it so many times. But yeah, even if you know, it's probably still better to do it with a thermometer. And even better if you do it with like an automatic shut-off thermometer with like a piston. Yeah, you can have 2, but it's okay. We're getting there. I will make, what is it called? Anvil. I think that only takes 7, yeah. So I'm 2 off on that. So yeah, it'll take me another batch after this one even, but it's okay. I don't know if I mentioned it. I may have mentioned it in passing, but I didn't emphasize it. If you need to remove calcification out of your boiler, do not do it when it's running. It will explode instantly. You won't even get a warning for it. So you have to let it cool down all the way, I think. I don't think there's any leeway on that from what I can remember. Just to be on the safe side, let the dial go all the way down and then use your chisel. Just right click on the thing. Or you could break it, I think, and it'll also work. Don't break it when it's running, it'll explode. You know, pretty much don't do anything to the boiler while it's running or it'll explode. That's the lesson that you need to keep in mind. Yeah. No pressure or anything. A little bit of a pun about the pressure of steam. Yeah, this does take a while. I'm really tempted to just go all out on the chromium next after. Oh no, first I'm going to get a thermometer and then I'll do the chromium. That way I can upgrade this burning box, but you know, in due time, everything in due time. Yeah, I really love the way boiler systems look in this. It just looks so like, I don't know. I don't even know what you would call it. It just looks like a proper factory once you get that stuff going. Even more than any other system. I mean, once you get to like acid working and stuff, it looks pretty cool. But yeah, the boiler stuff just looks very aesthetically pleasing to me. Even though it's like a rough kind of set of textures, I still think it looks quite nice. Just gotta be patient here and wait for this to take its course. Yeah, you can't use this on any other side except the exposed side. So yeah, we're slowly losing efficiency because of that calcification, but not to worry. We will be able to deal with it shortly. Come on, go faster. Oh, there we go. Wait. Oh yeah, never mind. That's supposed to happen. I was like, why is there free space? But there's supposed to be. So yeah, once this becomes wrought iron, I'll wait like 10 seconds and then cover it. And then it'll turn into steel. Come on. I'm like, even though I know it, I'm still concentrating quite a bit just to, that's wrought iron, so 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then I'll wait another like 10 seconds. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I'll let that go. And that should give me enough buffer room. I'm basically just allowing it to accumulate heat. That way I can get the steel in one go. I'm sort of just kind of estimating the temperature. If you have a higher tier burning box, like one that outputs more heat, you need to be even more careful if you're not using a thermometer, but you know, you can kind of go ham if you're using a thermometer. Come on. I think I'm probably underneath the heat threshold that I need to be at, so I'm going to need to reignite the burning box probably. Oh no, that's fine. Perfect. So I'll do 1, and then I'll do 1. And I guess I'll just do like some plates. Perfect. I'll go again. Should be the last one that I need. So magnetite, charcoal. Actually, you know what? I could do another ingot. No, I don't really need to, do I? Nah. I was going to say I can make a flint and steel, but I think I can make it out of iron, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. I do recall that being a recipe that I promptly ignored upon seeing it, but I kept it in the back of my mind. So this makes... Oh no, this makes shitty flint and steel. Okay, I will make an ingot then. Screw it. I mean, I could technically just make it now and use one of these steel ingots. So yeah, if you make steel nuggets and then you make a flint and steel out of this, you'll get like a regular Minecraft one. But then what you could do is, I'll just do it now. You could turn it into a GregTech one, and this has a lot more durability, and it lets you... It doesn't have as high of a chance. It only has a 30% chance of ignition, but you can use it a lot. So I would say it's worth doing. Let me put this here and bring this back here. So that means I don't really need to carry around the dry grass anymore, at least. I can use my dry grass solely for the purpose of getting torches. Alright, and I will get my pickaxe mold out of here. Or pickaxe head, rather. And then I will sharpen it against the grindstone. There we go, that broke that, but I will just put another piece of sandstone in there. I don't remember if I mentioned making this, but yeah, that's the purpose of it, is to do that. And you see you get a little piece of tiny dust, so you already get a fourth of an ingot, basically. Or no, not a fourth. Oh yeah, that's a ninth, rather. My bad. A ninth of a steel back immediately. And then you can do this. Also, I just realized I am stupid, and I said I was going to make a hammer, and I didn't make a hammer. So, I guess I won't make an axe for now. I'll just wait until I have better stuff. Let me keep that pickaxe there. That's alright. The next thing, I'll just make a hammer, and then, yeah, save the axe. So that should be fine. And I'll probably give this one a little more time, because I'm sure the calcification of this boiler is getting up there. Yeah, we're at 6%, but not at distilled water yet. Oh, I also realized I need to get stuff for... I'm an idiot. Let me get that back up. Dryer. We need stuff for a dryer. So that takes 11 steel. So I will do that in like a separate batch, maybe off screen, just because it's going to take a while. Yeah, I don't remember if I mentioned it. I think I did, but the dryer basically lets you turn regular water into distilled water. It sort of works like a boiler, so you put a burning box underneath it and you just ignite it and it'll start working pretty much immediately. There's no chance of it overheating or anything like that. It's just, you know, if it has water, it works, and it doesn't ever like, there's no problem with it like overfilling or anything like that. It'll just kind of stop doing whatever. And I guess the only thing you have to worry about is fuel efficiency, so you should turn it off when you don't need it. What I usually do is just have a giant tank of water with like a tank, like a level reader basically on it. That'll show me like how many buckets I have, and once it starts to get below a certain point, I'll just turn it back on and let it work. So yeah, it's not too big of a deal. You do have to worry about it exploding, I think, so I usually either put it underground or just, you know, cover above it. I'll end up filling that ceiling in, don't worry. I think I'll also make an oven out of steel. That basically lets you use burning boxes as like a furnace, so you can use kind of more fuels. I'm also counting my fingers right now just because I saw it turn into raw iron. But yeah, the oven is like a really fast furnace that lets you use like burning boxes, so you can kind of get more efficiency, and yeah, they're definitely pretty good. They work really fast depending on the speed that you're putting into them. They sort of accept a range. Even this basic one will be quite good. I'll probably put like a dense Invar one underneath it, or who knows, maybe even chromium, but probably not chromium. I've been very jaded towards chromium after discovering it's outside of my means to work with for the most part until I have proper refinement. But yeah, after I get this hammer going, I think I'll cut it there, because I'm sure I've shown quite a bit of this. There we go. And that should completely drain that. Yeah, and then I will turn off this burning box here and let everything cool off. So yeah, just to show, once this turns off, I don't know what this, I should have put glass in front of this, but basically once this, yeah, it's still running, you can see the little particles coming out. But yeah, once it turns off, the dial will start to go back down. It doesn't instantly go back down. Keep that in mind. Don't just put a thing in front of it and then like hammer, run up with a chisel and hit it. You'll blow up your base. So just, allow it to cool down, and then once it reaches 0, then you go and chisel it, and then you can do whatever. There we go. Yeah, the dial's going back down. And the engine is slowly cooling down as well. I don't think there's any issue with the engine if you wanted to just run up and hit it with like a wrench or something. I would say err on the side of caution on that one. I don't really specifically know. You could test it in creative, I suppose. Yeah, here's my steel hammer head, and there we go. Oh, I just realized I've made a grave error, and I didn't make another ingot for my anvil. Oh well. I mean, I'll make that as part of sort of the stuff that I do off screen, but I mean, at least now you can see the process of making steel. It's not super scary, but there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, and if you don't take proper caution against everything, you end up causing some catastrophe, so to speak. But hopefully this was straightforward enough. But yeah, I think I'm going to cut it there and work with steel off screen for a little while, and then I'll come back after I got everything. So I'll see you guys later.